More than $100 million in grants have been allocated in the latest round of funding by the Health Research Council of New Zealand. Otago researchers gained 22 contracts, including 5 major multi-million-dollar 5-year programs. Professor Cliff Abram is one of those researchers, and he joins us now to talk about what his portion of the funding will help with. Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell us about what your latest research is looking at.
Well, my research is built on 3 pillars of interest. One is, what are the neural mechanisms of memory? How do nerve cells actually do that of storing memory? Then part of that, we want to understand what are the proteins and molecules that are involved in that. And then finally, do these molecules or these proteins have therapeutic potential in disorders where there's a memory loss, as in Alzheimer's disease?
And is this a continuation of work that you had already started?
Well, I've been interested in memory mechanisms all my career, and then in the last 10 or 12 years we've been aiming it more towards seeing if there's therapeutic potential and what we've been finding out, and with a particular interest in Alzheimer's disease. So this does carry on our interests in this kind of issue.
And you've received a $5 million grant. How much is that going to help you?
It's absolutely vital. We're really grateful to the Health Research Council. Basically, our work wouldn't be able to continue without this funding, so it's really providing the platform for testing out these new ideas we have.
How many years do you think it's going to last?
Well, this grant's for 5 years,
yep.
And so we'll be. We have quite a few objectives that across many labs that actually that this money will be used for.
How many people are involved in the project?
So this is a team effort. It's really based around the efforts of 5 main research labs. I have 5 main collaborators in biochemistry, anatomy, and pharmacy and psychology. And across those labs, between the postgrad students and the researchers and staff, we have about 30 people that will be lining up to work on these projects.
What will you be studying in particular? What's first cab off the rank?
I guess we have 3 main objectives. One is, well, as you know, Alzheimer's disease is a very difficult, complex disorder, and we still don't know enough about it. So we need to know more about the molecules that may be involved and the changes in the brain that are occurring. So we want to see, looking at postmortem tissue and also in bloods from people with Alzheimer's disease, if that gives us a hint, a window into what's happening in the brain. The other problem is we don't have good enough models of the disease to test new therapies on. So we have some novel ideas about generating models of the disease that we can then test our therapeutic ideas on, and we have some new ideas about therapies as well. So we'll be able to test them in our new models of the disease. How
complex is that research?
Well, the disease itself is extremely complex, and that's why we're still not very far along in treating the disease. So you have to be very focused on your research that you're undertaking. It's a very complex process in terms of the kind of research you undertake, because it's a very complex disease. So it takes a lot of work with people from different skills that we find in these different departments, and my colleagues work together as a great team to bring together what's necessary to address the disorder.
Are there researchers elsewhere in the world doing the same sort of research?
The issue of Alzheimer's disease is worldwide. Researchers all over the planet are working on the problem. The fact that we still are just inching along, it indicates the complexity. But we think we have some specific new ideas that will make real progress, we hope, in understanding and treating the disease. So we think we have a little advantage in the particular ideas that we're bringing to the table.
We hope so too. Why is Alzheimer's of particular interest to you?
Well, for a start, I've had a long-standing interest in memory, and the understanding that there are diseases that are particularly associated with memory loss has really come to my attention, I suppose, over the years. And so it's been an easy transition from the basic mechanisms to these kind of more applied research. But also, it's a huge problem for societies in general. New Zealand, there's a wave of coming kind of increase in the incidence of the disease and prevalence. So it's a major issue. It needs as much effort as we can put into it, because it is the most expensive disease in New Zealand.
Professor Cliff Abram, good luck with the research, and thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.